Hello, I'm Juan Davies, Chief Creative Officer at KCTM PBS SoCal, and we're partnering with the newsroom of KPCC and LAist on a daily reporter roundup. Let's start with you, Adolfo, with the latest on the COVID outbreak at Cal State Long Beach.
Yeah, well, the outbreak's gone from 5 cases on Saturday to 22 cases on Wednesday, most of them students living in the dorms. The university carried out contact tracing and investigated. They found out that students had been going to parties in the last month, so there may be some discipline in the works. University says it's disappointed because students living in the dorms signed contracts to take precautions. There are two reasons this outbreak's important. It's the third Cal State campus to see an outbreak after Chico State and San Diego State about a month ago. And this outbreak happened at Cal State Long Beach, which had taken a very conservative approach to opening the dorms and in-person classes. There are other Cal States that have limited dorm populations, and the UC campuses open with limited dorm populations this week.
Sticking on the health beat today, Governor Newsom signed a bill into law this week that gives nurse practitioners more autonomy. Jackie has the story.
Yeah, so until now, nurse practitioners with masters and sometimes doctorates in nursing had to pay a doctor for oversight. The idea was that they could consult with the doctor if they needed to. And for years, nurses groups said that that amounted to red tape that cost them thousands of dollars. So under the new law, nurse practitioners will have to work under a physician for at least 3 years, but then they can see patients in their own practice. Doctors groups were very much against it, arguing it would lead to a lower standard of care. But the pandemic and an ongoing primary care shortage really helped spur this bill through the legislature. Nurses groups say the new law will mean more nurse practitioners, especially in rural areas, but the law doesn't actually take effect until 2023.
The DA today announced charges against a man accused of shooting 2 sheriff's deputies. Robert's been covering that story.
Yeah, the sheriff's department this morning identified 36-year-old Deontay Lee Murray as the alleged shooter in what it is referred to as the ambush attack that left 2 deputies in critical condition earlier this month. Sheriff Alex Villanueva called the ambush, quote, the worst of humanity today. But authorities didn't discuss any specific motive. DA Jackie Lacey said her office has filed attempted murder charges against Murray. If convicted, he faces a maximum sentence of life in state prison. Murray was actually arrested 2 weeks ago in connection with a carjacking. During a chase that ensued, the sheriff's department said Murray threw a pistol from the car he was driving. Authorities said that through ballistic comparison, they found that the pistol recovered during that chase, a .40 caliber ghost gun, was the same one used to shoot the deputies. Villanueva said both deputies are recovering at home, but they face a lot of reconstructive surgery.
And finally, a couple days ago, the Martindale fire broke out in the mountains just northeast of Santa Clarita. The good thing is that firefighters were able to get it under control pretty quickly. Jacob, what happened?
Yeah, it sort of feels like Santa Clarita is always catching on fire whenever we have fire weather, and it sort of is. I mean, there's a reason for that. There are sizable mountains around it. There's a lot of dry brush. It gets hot, and the Santa Ana winds there are ruthless. I talked to LA County Fire, and they told me that they had pre-positioned strike teams out in Santa Clarita for just this reason during the red flag event on Monday. So they had people there in about 2 minutes, they told me, which is really fast. They then hit it quickly with 12 aircraft because those resources are not stressed across the state right now. And they also likely benefited from this fire burning into an area that last burned in 2007, meaning there was less dense vegetation for it to go through. Going forward, they will keep pre-positioning people in places like Santa Clarita, in Malibu, near the mountains during these high wind events to tackle anything that might pop up. But our viewers should not be caught off guard. Get your go kit ready if you live in one of these areas that is prone to, because you never know when a fire might be your way.
Thank you, Jacob. What should we bring in our go-to bag?
Yeah, I would recommend packing about a week's worth of clothes, some food, some water, medications if you need them, as well as any cash and jewelry and important documents that you might have, because down the line you might need those to prove, say, ownership of a house for when you apply for some sort of aid.
Well, thank you, Jacob, and thank you all at the KPCC and LAist Newsroom. Be healthy, take care of yourself, and we will see you tomorrow.